It's a vibe on Lava Lounge. 93.3.
Lava Lounge with TK. And with me in the studio. I'm excited about this one because this is my very first time seeing him, actually, even seeing him. I've got someone who really stands out for his unique sounds, his superb songwriting. One of very few who kind of sound as good as they sound in their songs. Like, pretty much you listen to them live and it's just so great. With me in the studio, I have got Drille.
Yay! Yes. Happy to be here. Thank you so much, TK, for having me. And thanks for that introduction. And I'm surprised we haven't met before. It's crazy.
I know. I was on the night show. But away from that, I think the last time I was supposed to come for your event, I had to travel. So, yeah.
Oh, I see.
But my friends did talk about how, great and amazing it was. But I've watched you perform live. I've just not been there.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And I mean, you're someone that I sort of knew even before Maven. And how your journey to this point has been so amazing. But welcome to Hot FM again, because I know you've been here.
Yeah, I've been here a couple of times. But it always feels new every time I come here. I don't know why. But again, thank you for having me.
Yeah, good to have you as well. Now, quite a number of people might not know this because you've been around for a while, and it's refreshing to see that a couple of years you're still very relevant. Yeah, and I'm talking way before Maven.
Yeah, I know it's crazy because people don't actually realize that I've been on the scene for quite a bit.
Yeah,
a lot of people just getting to hear songs like "How You My Friend" and believe me, like this new guy, we love this new guy, but.
He's
been
there.
A minute.
He's been there. But the fact that you're still killing it, a couple of years down.
Yeah.
First off, how long have you been in the game for?
Professionally since 2012.
2012.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I didn't release a major song until 2015.
2015.
Yeah.
Okay. So pre-Maven.
Yeah.
That was when were you signed to Maven?
I signed with Maven in 2017. At least it was unveiled in January, February 2017.
So all the way from 2012 to 2017, you were doing that as an individual artist.
Exactly.
But just looking at where you are now, quite a number of people started with you.
Yeah.
I'm like, where are these guys? But then you're you keep evolving.
Yeah.
How would you say your journey has been, till this point?
First of all, I'm really grateful that I've come this far, and of course I owe it to the fans. I owe it to God first of all, and then to the fans. Because if it wasn't at least those initial fans from 2012 to 2017 rooting for me, and I would not be here. I wouldn't be signed to Maven. I wouldn't have this much impact as I've had in the last couple of years. So I'm grateful for that, and I think it's been such an amazing journey. And to me, anytime I think of it, I only still just think of it as me just getting started. There's this excitement I feel every time for the future. I know that there's so much music that's in me that the world is yet to hear. Yeah. There's so much I want to sing about, I want to do that, it's just going to happen over time. And I'm very excited for the future.
All right. Looks like there's so much. But then this has been over a decade, right?
Yeah.
What would you say has kept you relevant till this point?
I think, first of all, I think people connect with my music on a more... Beyond just the music, they also connect with my personality. I think that a lot of my fans, not all of them, but a lot of them are they kind of see some part of themselves in me. Yeah. Maybe it's because of my lifestyle, my simplistic lifestyle, or, now I feel like I'm bragging that I'm humble, or at least I seem humble.
Yeah. What are you?
If I say I'm humble, does that not mean I'm proud? If I'm admitting my humility, does that mean I'm proud of my humility? But I mean, I'm a simple person. I definitely think of myself as a simple person. So I think maybe that's what they connect. Of course, the music. I think that. Oh my God, I hate to sound like I'm bragging, but I think that my music is special, and the fans see that. The people that have followed me over the years see that, and that's very endearing to them and keeps them connected to Johnny Drew.
Yeah, I mean, your music is definitely special. It's definitely unique. It's good. You're talented. We know that. But I know that, there were conversations that also came up back in the day where, Johnny Drew is so good. He does this type of music, but Nigerians are not really into that. But did that at some point, put some sort of pressure on you? Like, okay, I have to do what every other person is doing. Where you sort of conflicted in directions to go with music? Because at the end of the day, money has to be made. you do what you love.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're thinking, okay, should I do what people
Mm-hmm.
love, so I can make more money? So was there any sort of pressure? And sometimes are you sort of conflicted in the direction to go with music?
Yeah. So I think I've come to understand that the way I'm built personally, I never feel any internal pressure to be untrue to myself. So whatever pressure I may have felt, I'm sure most of it have been external, but I don't even think of them as pressure. I just think of them as people looking out for me and thinking that, let's try this, let's do this. Maybe it could work, maybe it may not work. But I wouldn't call it pressure per se. I will always put out music. I will never put out music I don't like. Yeah. Even some of the songs that I may not have been sure of, I had to get to a place of, where I really liked the song and I was in love with it. And I would, because the thing is that when people promote music, if you don't like the song you're promoting, the fans can see that you don't really believe in it. And so you have to first of all believe in it. And I feel like it's such a disservice to the fans and to music as a whole, if you don't believe in the song you're pushing. So I definitely, I love every song I've put out. But of course I understand that people might conceive it as pressure, but I've never really felt pressure per se to switch or to
music, yeah.
I mean, whatever kind of sounds I try, it's always gonna have Johnny Drille in there. It's gonna always sound like Johnny Drille. I recently had some a song with Kiss Daniel. Well, I did the hook of the song. A lot of people would not expect that. Johnny Drille saying it's.
I was shocked to hear
exactly,
that.
And it was good. It was so beautiful, and so I mean. Expect more stuff like that. Of course, you're always going to know it's Johnny Drille. It's the amazing Johnny Drille, smooth, sultry vocals.
Tell him, Johnny. Tell him. But then, speaking of Shuperudo, how did that come about? Because I don't think I've ever seen you and Kiss in anywhere together. So how did that come about?
It's funny, like a couple of years ago, like 3 years ago, I tweeted on, first of all, I've always been a fan. Big fan of Kiss Daniel. Yes.
I think he's talented.
Yeah, I think he's got such a special gift. It's how he puts his melodies together, and it's so intentional. And that's why the whole of Africa is in love with Kiss Daniel. That's why his songs are so catchy. You just can't get them out of your head. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, a couple of years ago, I tweeted at him. I think it was like 3-4 years ago. I was like,
okay.
Oh, let me see if I remember how I phrased it. I was like, I want a song with Kiss Daniel so bad.
Okay.
Right? And then he quoted and I was like, I want a song with Johnny Drille so bad, And then I think we followed each other on Instagram. Or was it Twitter? I kind of can't remember. But that was it. Every now and then he'll message me, Johnny, send me a number, and then I'll send a number, and then I won't hear anything from him. And then I think at some point this year he hit me up, and he just he wanted me to come by his studio. I went by to his house, beautiful place. First of all, Kiss Daniel has one of the most expensive grand pianos in the world. And he doesn't play that thing.
I was going to ask, can he even play the
piano? He don't play it. And it was just annoying me. It was just there like as some, when you have like some flower vase or something just as decoration. It's just there. Anyways, we worked on a couple of stuff. And then the next couple of times he started coming over to my own studio and this is something Kiss Daniel never does. He never records. That's why I kind of feel special in a way. Kiss Daniel never records anywhere outside of his studio, which he calls Asgard.
Ah. Okay.
I don't know why I call it, but Asgard is a place in what's that movie? Thor.
Thor.
Yeah. I don't know why he calls it that. But he started to come over to mine to record. That's where we recorded some of Shuperu parts and a whole bunch of songs on his forthcoming project. But Kiss Daniel is an amazing guy. His music, big fan, always.
So does that mean like there's going to be more collaborations? Because I feel like I want to see more, like a proper feature with you and...
In the in Kiss Daniel's forthcoming album, which is called Color of Happiness.
Color of Happiness. I like that. Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna see a lot of Johnny Drille imprint in there.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm very heavily involved in the project.
You've seen a lot of you in quite a number of productions, though.
Yeah.
But we're gonna get to that.
Okay.
But I mean, it's everybody has to evolve, at some point. Like you started, I think in my head, I would say you started as a country artist. I don't know if I'm wrong.
A folk artist.
A folk artist.
Yeah.
That's how you started. Your sound seems a bit, different. Sometimes, you still bring that in. But in 2023, how would you describe the Johnny Drille sound?
I think generally with how music has been consumed and produced the last couple of years, lines have started to blur a lot, especially with... So, for example, you could take some vocals, some country song vocals, and put it over an Afrobeat beat, and it still, for some reason it will work.
Yeah.
So lines have blurred a bit. Before, I would most likely have called myself an alternative artist in the Nigerian sense of the definition.
Yeah.
In Nigeria, anything that is not pop is alternative, right? So I would have called myself an alternative artist. But right now, I would probably say I'm just a great musician, just a great artist. That's because there's so much,
So
much
does
fusion.
that mean
I
that
wouldn't call
you're just
myself an
doing-
Afrobeats artist. Neither would I call myself just a folk artist.
Yeah.
So yeah. So what do you call that?
Someone who's just experimenting.
I'm just a great artist. I'm the great artist, Johnny Drille.
Now, could that also mean like we just get any vibe we get from you? It's going to be good anyways.
Well, you're not just going to get vibes. You're going to get great music. I think that I'm definitely going to try out a whole lot of stuff. And if you listen, anyone has listened to my Before We Fall Asleep album, you could tell that there was so many different, kinds of Johnny Drills in there. At some point I was doing some hard rock music, some point I was doing Afro pop, some point I was doing not trap but hip hop. So it's a lot of things. I mean it's music at the end of the day, whether it's Afro beats, Afro pop, folk, alternative, country, whatever. As long as the fans are digging it and are loving it, I think that's all really matters. So I think maybe we're probably going to get to the point where artists will no longer be taking tags per se.
Okay, but I gotta ask real quick though, what was like the first genre you fell in love with? The first genre.
Worship music.
So are you a church boy? Oh, that's true.
Once a church boy, always a church boy. Still a church boy.
That is true. I did catch while I was, checking more on you that you were a music director for 6 years. In
my dad's church. Was it 6 years? Like
that's what
eight
I
to
saw
10 years.
online.
Yeah,
8 to 10 years.
It's hard to believe, but it's funny. Throughout the period, I was music director at my dad's church. My dad's a pastor. My mom as well. I can count the number of times I sang in church.
But why is that? Because you were directing, or why was that exactly?
It was that. Plus, I didn't quite feel like. Again, I didn't quite feel like that was my place. I felt very strongly about serving God and being a child of God and living right and living a life that pleases God. I'm all for that. But I didn't quite feel like my place was to sing on the altar.
I get that.
I always felt a different purpose outside of that. So that's what kind of drove me at that point. But of course, I love God's work, and I was always gonna do that. I was in church every day of the week. So, but I'm still a church boy. I still go to church. As a matter of fact, I was in church like 3 Sundays ago, talking, not singing. I was talking.
Is that like your first time in church this year?
Come on, come on.
That sounds like.
I go to church all the time. The times I can't go to church, especially on Sundays, I stream service, but I never miss Sunday service.
But most of the times you're streaming.
Well, because I have to travel a lot of weekends, so sometimes I end up streaming. But every time I'm in Lagos, I always go to church.
So physically, how many times have you been in church this year?
This year,
Yeah.
I thought you say this month.
This year.
This year, I can't count. It's been a lot of times.
Okay, fair enough.
I've probably been to church for Sundays. I've probably been to church like half the time this year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's a church boy. We can let
You?
that slide.
How many times? Are you even Christian self? Let's start from there.
I'm a Christian.
Okay,
Hello?
how many times have you, TK, been in church?
More than half the
Yeah.
Sundays this year.
Yeah,
But
right.
then again, I kind of do something for a church where I have to be in church.
Oh, that.
Yeah, so
nice.
like media wise, I'm like a voiceover person.
So you're just going to church to do work.
That's not what I said.
See what I mean? She's going back. She's going to church to do work. She's never going to worship or serve God. She's just going to do. She leaves the radio station and goes to church and does radio.
But God said to serve Him, right? But let's talk about your latest single. Let's not say new single, but your latest single, "Believe Me." That's something that got quite a number of reactions, right? And that came after "How Are You, My Friend," which is such a big song as well. I have a colleague. His name is Jude. He's so obsessed with the song, by the way. But the song talks about wanting to settle down with a girl.
Yeah.
Is that coming from a personal place?
Is that coming from a personal place? Well, that song was written by Jazzy and I. The original idea was Jazzy's idea.
Okay.
He came up with the chorus. What have you done? That was all we had initially.
Yeah.
And then I went over to the studio, and then we started to piece it together, and that's how the song came together. I think for us, the intention behind making that song was we really just wanted to make like a really smooth African, love song that all of Africa would fall in love with. Our grandmothers can sing along. Young people can sing, old people, every kind of person. And that's what's been so far. Everyone's connected to that song on some level. Even single people are the ones that are even singing it louder. And that's amazing to see.
Yeah.
What I was coming from a personal place, not exactly, not quite, but of course I can connect to this with the song on certain levels, certain personal
Well, you wrote
levels.
the song.
I wrote some part of the
Some
song.
part of the
Jazzy,
song.
Don Jazzy
Yeah,
wrote some part of the song.
Okay. So are you trying to settle down anytime soon?
Settle down.
Yeah.
What do you mean by settle down?
Like get married?
Get married.
Or are you already married?
Am I already married? Well, next question.
We're still talking. Believe me, buddy. Well, tell us more about the song. You said Don Jazzy. It was you and Don Jazzy. Did you produce the song yourself? Was it?
Jazzy did the main production. I just did additional production just to fine tune, and then, of course I mixed and mastered the song. By the way, Johnny Drille is a very prolific mixing and mastering engineer. Just in case you don't know, I have so much talent in this small body of mine. I've mixed some of the biggest songs out of Africa. I mixed Master Stability, Rush, Big Energy, Bloody Samaritan. What else? I mastered Ijola Balaba.
Okay.
So JD talented.
He's just telling you.
JD talented.
He's very instrumental to Maven. That's how you know someone they never let go. Believe Me is such a good song, by the way. It's just such a feel-good song. You've done so. I'm sure you love the song so much because you keep dropping versions on versions.
I know.
How many versions so far?
So there is the original version.
Yeah.
There is a YouTube version which is different as well. There's the Music Monday version. Oh, there's a teaser version. So that's 4 so far. There's a teaser version before the song dropped. That's 5.
Yeah.
There was another version where I was doing with the guitarist by the Waterhouse on that 6. And there was one I just put out recently, like 3 days ago, where I was
I caught
performance.
that one.
So that's 7. So far 7, but there's still
That's the one with Don Jazzy on Instagram.
Yeah, I think did I have that? 8. But there's probably like 3 more to go. So we'll probably wrap up by 11.
Okay, well, looking forward to more versions because all of them will definitely hit. But speaking of Don Jazzy, there was a tweet. Someone tweeted and said that you bring how the Mo hit Don Jazzy. Was it even a tweet or a comment? The Mo hit Don Jazzy. I'm not sure what that means, but I think that's more like the Don Jazzy we saw who was sort of like singing a lot.
Yeah,
had like extra swag and all of that. But how would you define your relationship with Don Jazzy?
First of all, Jazz is a boss. It's been such a pivotal, it's not even the word, such an important part of my journey so far. And, grateful that, I've had to do this journey with Maven Records. He's a very passionate person for music, and even as a person, he has so much passion and he wants to see everyone succeed around him. So, I mean, that's it. And the same kind of sentiments, passions extend to all the artists as well. He feels just the same passion for everyone as well.
We see him promote every other person, but it almost feels like Don Jazzy loves doing like collaborating with Johnny Drille.
I think that because both of us worked on the both How Are You My Friend, we worked on How Are You My Friend together, and then we worked on Believe Me together. So maybe he may feel, I definitely know he has a more personal connection with How Are You My Friend because we wrote that song at about the time he lost his mom. So he of course he was definitely heavily involved with the song as well, and even with Believe Me as well. So maybe that's why people think that. I don't think there's a lot of songs, Maven songs, that he has that Jazz's vocals are in there. And Jazz's vocals, once you sing that, you can't hide it. Even if you reduce the volume, knows. it's Jazz's vocal, you can tell. So maybe that explains it, but I definitely enjoy working with Jazzy every time.
I really love the Instagram, the video that was posted on Instagram. By the way. That was so amazing. but then, I mean, you produce, you sing, you write. What are some of the other skills that we don't know about?
I'm a pretty good cook. Yeah.
So are we seeing the Ilda version?
Are we seeing what?
Are we seeing you being Ilda real soon?
No, not that level.
How many hours can you go for?
I can't do more than 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Just do the Indomie and
That's
vanish.
noodles.
I'm just playing. I can do, I mean, I don't, it's not like I enjoy. I think the worst part for me is cutting like onions or pepper. Yeah, but I mean, every other thing I pretty like cooking. I mean, I cook pretty nice dishes. At least people that have eaten have testified to the wonders.
What are some of the dishes you cook?
I can make beans like every other guy in Nigeria. I can make of course I can make noodles.
Beans takes forever.
I know. I can make stew and tomato stew. I can make egusi soup. I can make ogbono soup with the help of Google. I can make banga with the help of Google.
Okay.
I think that's it pretty much.
Interesting. Can you pound yam?
Yes, I can. The proper yes. When you mean pound yam, you mean like the one with the pesto and mortar. Yes,
not pound yam like.
If you're an African man and you did not pound yam growing up in your parents' house, you're not a proper African man. There's nothing you can tell me.
Okay, husband material 1,000 yards, definitely. But then, out of all this, you've dropped so many songs. I'm sure there's some that you never even released. Like, I'm sure your catalog is crazy. But what would you say is, your most personal record so far? In the sense that, you were probably going through something and then you recorded it.
I think it was a Before We Fall Asleep album, the whole album itself. Because that was quite a phase for me, because there was a lot of inner conflict, and it wasn't a very great time of my life. So, and that kind in a way was reflected in the album. So if you listen, you'd be able to tell. But I think even on the project, the most personal song there for me was called Sister, which I kind of wrote about my sister. Yeah. But most songs there would
quite personal.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So in 2023, I mean, music is great internationally. So it's kind of like Nigerian music, like a cultural export right now. What's your thoughts on that? The fact that, our music is like global, like pretty much a cultural export right now. What's your thoughts on that?
I think it's amazing time for African music, especially for Nigerian music, Afrobeats, as they call it. And, the world's attention is on it. It's never happened like this before. Rema has, my goodness, I don't know why this is not making as much news or as much buzz as it should. Rema pretty much has the biggest African song ever.
Which of the songs are you talking about?
Calm Down. It's the biggest song to come out of Africa, because right now it's on the Billboard. I think it's number 4, and it's projected to even go higher. It's over 1 billion streams, first for any African song, and big shout out to Rema and the Burna Boys and the Wizkids, Davido's, Tiwa Savage, everyone that's pushed African music, over the last couple of years, and it's great to see the world's paying us attention. And I just think that now that the world's paying attention, now they're even gonna want to know how much more music do we got. Like what? Okay, we've heard Afrobeats, we've heard this amazing Afrobeat, we love this sound. What else you got? What more is in there? And I think this is the time for people to, to begin to diversify even Afrobeats and give them different variations of Afrobeats. Of course, you have Johnny Drills for that, you have Chike's for that, you have the Ricardo Sanis of this world and the world. But it's very exciting times for African music. I'm very excited for the future. My fear, or at least let me say my hope, is that African music, Afrobeats or whatever, continues to stay African. It continues to be our thing. So we don't end up with where the world just jumps on it. And,
I get that.
It becomes.
Because the news comes at 12. What more are we expecting from you?
I've got very exciting news. I don't know if I should say yet, but very exciting news. Touring very soon. The Journey's Room live shows will kick off pretty soon.
That's the Journey's Room
live, yes.
Okay. I was going to ask that.
Yeah, exactly. I have them every year. Usually we would have them towards the end of the year, but we're kicking off earlier this year. I've got shows lined up. Of course, there's more new music coming, more collaborations. And look forward to the Kiss Daniel album that's dropping, Call of Happiness. Johnny Drill has some
interesting. That would be interesting. It's just nice to see you with people that are quite different from your regular channel. But we're gonna rush through this one quickly, so you're gonna just answer, right?
Okay.
So Johnny, do you believe in love at first sight?
No.
I thought you sung about it at some point.
Yeah, that's in the music, but I don't. It's not realistic.
Okay.
Love at first sight is not like. I think you like the person at first sight. You like what you see, but
it's not love.
I don't think it's love. You need to know someone deeper to love them.
Okay.
I mean, for a lot of people, it happens. I'm not denying the fact that it happens very quick for people.
Yeah.
But from my experience, I just know that, for example, when you like someone at first and then you get to spend time with them and then, some things you don't quite like and then you're not second guessing and then you're like, do I want to do this? Like, it's a lot complicated than just, oh my God, I love you.
Okay, would you consider yourself a spiritual or religious or none?
I'm not religious. But I'm spiritual.
I think you can sort of explain that already, talking about how in church you didn't feel you had, minister on the altar.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Okay, so moving on, is there a Nigerian or foreign artist you think is so good that you wish their song was yours? Like a particular song in the world that you wish you had written the song or sang the song?
Post Malone.
Which of them?
His most recent album. Every song.
Isn't like Chemical or something?
Yeah, I love Chemical. Woo, I love that song.
Ever broken a girl's heart?
Not to my knowledge. I'm pretty sure it's happened. But what I know is I have not intentionally broken any girl's heart. But
he's
hearts may have been
unintentionally
broken indirectly. But it was not my doing directly. I don't know if that makes sense.
So how would someone get your special attention? Someone's trying to, get John Joe's attention. What do they need to do?
To get my attention. How do you mean to get my attention?
Like, a girl wants to get your attention. What's the easiest way to get your attention?
I'm not sure exactly if I'm open for business right now, but if you want to get my attention, what do you even do to get my attention, Steve?
I don't know.
I actually don't. I've actually never thought about this. I guess be kind, be simple.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Call or text.
Text, please.
Text.
Please.
Dinner date or Netflix and chill?
Netflix and chill.
Blindfold or bathtub? In whatever context you see this.
Say that again?
Blindfold or bathtub?
Doing what?
Whatever context is in your head.
Whatever. I don't have any context. You have to give me context. What context is over?
Just pick one.
Blindfold. What are you blindfolding to do? Like to receive a surprise? Like they're blindfolding you to like
just pick one.
Birthday surprise. Bathtub.
Okay. Lap dance or striptease? Lap dance or striptease?
Lap dance or what?
Striptease.
What's striptease? See, I'm a very Christian person. These questions. They don't.
So it's none. If it's none, just say none. None. Okay, because smell like, have like a body odor for a year or have terrible acne for 6 months. So
for me?
Yeah, we have 3 more minutes to wrap this up.
Have acne for as long as possible.
Test the waters or dive in the deep end.
Ooh. Test the waters or dive in the deep end. Deep end.
Okay. What would you like to be remembered about you or remembered for?
For being excellent, for being incredible, for being one of a kind.
Okay, so the very last thing I'm going to ask you, I'm going to pick the song because I really like the song. I'm going to ask you to sing for us, and I'm picking the song because it's Losing You. I really like Losing You. I really do like this song. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, you'll not believe what's going on right now.
What?
I'm trying to remember how it starts.
Cause you're losing.
Okay, no, I know that part. I'm trying to remember. Okay. Cause I'm losing you slowly, yeah. It's cold and it's freezing. It's you that I need. All the loving you show me. The kisses in the morning, yeah. Because I miss you like a little missy my jet.
Thank you so much, Johnny Drille, for
Thank you so
by.
much, TK, for having me. This has been fun.
Yeah, enjoyed the interview as well. Wish you the very best. Looking forward to more of the projects
Thank
that you have, and we keep supporting you right
Thank
here
you so much.
at Hot FM.
It's a vibe on Lava Lounge 93.3.